Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's Pierce Sweeney. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Jake Taylor. Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Hello.
Dan, the winning run is over. The unbeaten streak has ended.
Yeah, but we're still
Top of the league.
top of the league.
By one goal.
Yeah.
But we'll take it.
Well, yeah.
It's gone. The dream's over. The invincible season is going to be next year.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to happen at some point, wasn't it? But I'm just not sure we were expecting it to happen here.
And now.
Probably expecting it to happen in one of our more difficult games, which are like literally around the corner.
Oh, I mean, Grimsby, have done some things of significance this year. But yeah, it was a bit of a smash and grab, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they were worth it. They looked a good side to me. Took their chances well.
Unlike Exeter City. So, friends, if you don't know...
Did not take our chances well.
22 shots we had.
Really?
22. So City lost at home 3-1 to Grimsby Town and their support team of Brett Huxtable, the referee.
Slightly harsh.
Is that harsh? 3-1. We were 1-0 down at half-time.
Yep.
They then got another 2 as we were pushing for something back. So we were 3-0 down. We managed to get some kind of consolation. Just at the end.
Very much a consolation at the end, yeah.
And what about this penalty that was denied?
Well, yeah, definite pen.
Okay.
I don't think that's a controversial opinion. It should have been a penalty. Wasn't given.
So...
Can't really tell you why, to be honest. The linesman had a good view of it. Who knows what the ref could see? Can't see from his angle, but, you know.
But nevertheless, we didn't deserve the win?
No.
Okay. So Matt Taylor, in his post-match, said that he was kind of taking some of the blame and said maybe he shouldn't have had this long a run with this much an unchanged team.
Right.
So he kind of suggested that the first half, I got the word here, well, he said it was pretty lacklustre and a bit slow and sluggish, first half in particular.
About right, yeah.
And he was kind of taking the blame, said maybe I shouldn't have run this many players for this many games in a row.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a week since the last game, so maybe that's him being generous.
He wanted to not be too hard on them, didn't he, I think?
I mean, 10 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
It's excellent start.
Yeah, and, you know, it wasn't like a thrashing. It wasn't a 3-0 thrashing.
No.
It was like, you know, a couple of errors for the first 2, and then the third one we were, you know, trying desperately to get one back and to get ourselves back into the game, so left ourselves too exposed for that one, I think, you know, but yeah.
We had some good chances, didn't we? Like,
we did have some good chances.
Was it Sweeney that hit the bar?
Yeah, it's sort of a cross that kind of hit the bar.
Okay.
And then that was the beginning of the second half. We looked really good for about 10 minutes,
okay.
Like all over them.
And then
I imagine a lot of those shots would have been then. Nicky Law sort of had one cleared off the line, and then as the defender cleared off the line, he sort of hit the crossbar himself.
Okay. And then Law had a ball that kind of ran in parallel across the goal line.
That's the one I'm talking about, and it was cleared off the line, yeah, and onto the bar kind of thing. But, yeah.
Wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening, and there was a few... Yeah, I'm not sure who to blame it on, really, but I think everyone can sort of take the...
Okay. Moxie gave away a penalty, of course.
Moxie kind of had a bit of an off day, in terms of those mistakes, yeah. The penalty, I just don't think he needed to make that foul, really, you know?
Well, Ward was kind of looming with his big hands and good face.
He was coming out, he was off his line, and I thought there was also some people back, which is why, you know, Moxie didn't get sent off for that. So, you know, it's one of those things with hindsight, you think, well, you know, at least let him have a shot rather than give away the penalty. And then he got absolutely done for Moxie for the third one, like completely sold by this.
I mean, much like he's been doing to strikers throughout the season.
Yeah, very similar.
He was himself sold. You think he'd know better?
I know.
But there we are. So the unbeaten run ends, but we're still top of the league, still with a point in hand. With a goal in hand. Very close.
Yeah.
Between us and Crewe, more about whom we'll talk later.
Yeah, Bowman, bit of an off day, I think.
Got the goal.
Yeah, but and it was a good finish actually. Nice little tap in, and a really nice ball. A lot of seemed to be a lot of kind of criticism of Randall Williams. He probably didn't have his best game.
Do you think maybe that's who Taylor was talking about?
Yeah, maybe. And he did have but he did some good things. There was a chance in the first half where he played this crossfield pass, really switched the play to Lee Martin, who controlled it really nicely. Then fed, I think, Sparks, who laid it off to Law, and then it was just missing someone on the end of the cross.
Okay.
Perhaps Bowman could have done better for that, but yeah, it was just in front of goal, we weren't clinical enough.
I think 22 shots and 1 goal tells us everything we need to know.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that is that. Jake Taylor had some stuff to say. He was frustrated, but again, I think they're just trying to take some positives from it, really.
Yeah.
Not positives from that game, but from the 10 before.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's really about how we respond now, isn't it? Obviously, City, certainly under Tisdale, notorious for long streaks one way or another.
Right.
We can't buy a win. Oh, we can't lose, whatever we do, and then vice versa and so on. So we're just going to need to, recover well, aren't we?
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we've got a lot of tough games coming up.
Yeah. Well, there's one tomorrow night, isn't there? This stupid trophy thing.
Stupid trophy thing was what they were going to call it.
Yeah.
And then they managed to get a different sponsor. So
yeah, they come up with an even worse name than that.
Yeah. So leasing.com.
So that's Newport away again, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. I'm reluctant to even. I don't know why I've even brought it up. Who cares?
I wish you hadn't. It's like the fur ball from
Let's
the
move
cat
on.
we didn't want. All right. So yeah, that'll be a completely different team. But I tell you, the one interesting thing about that game is who gets a start, by which I mean Nigel
Asangana.
I think surely he's, especially after a loss, this might be his window.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Might be his window.
Hopefully.
He's looking through the window. He's drawing pictures. He's watching the raindrops race down it.
He's gazing through that window.
Gazing through that window. He's
And he's seeing Archie Collins on the floor. And he's thinking, is this my chance? No, because I'm not on the bench.
gutted.
But there was that moment actually in the game, which is probably worth mentioning, is when, for their opening goal, we just counter-attacked. I think it might have even been that bit of play. No, it wasn't. Anyway, we were just on the attack. Collins gets taken down and stays down.
Yeah.
Obviously, they get out the other end. Don't put the ball out, which, fair enough. But then they get a corner.
Yeah.
Obviously, Collins had to go off the pitch.
Yeah.
And then he can't come back on until the ref tells him he can. And then they've got 2 men completely unmarked on the edge of the box. And to be fair, a lovely finish. But we were a man down on that set piece.
Yeah.
So it's fine margins.
There's a curiousness about football, which is, on one hand, it's about fairness. So everyone who's ever had any kind of treatment on the pitch has to go off the side and come back on. So, your arm's hanging off. You still got to come back and walk to the side. You clearly haven't faked it.
Yeah.
Which I guess was the original reason for having to walk off the side, if I recall 90s football correctly. But then there's this reluctance of referees to let you straight back on. It was almost like punishment for being injured. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happened there, isn't it? Why is that a rule, or even an unwritten rule, that you can't just go off the side and come straight back on before the corner's taken, or whatever? Yeah,
I don't really know. I don't see why, if the physio and the fourth official can't just make that decision and send him back on.
Yeah. I guess it's to avoid which doesn't happen so much anymore. Everyone's too busy diving. They've kind of given up on rolling around like they've been shot. It's all about the fall rather than it is about the reaction. But that by the by, I think that was kind of what it was about, wasn't it? Making the thing look worse than it was back in the day.
Right.
So they said, well, now if a physio comes on, because you're either faking it or not, you have to go off the side of the pitch and come back on. So it does seem unfair. And Taylor kind of acknowledged that, while also acknowledging we weren't really good enough.
Yeah, I mean, with the penalty and with that incident, I think it's it's not like we were robbed.
No.
We would have lost that game probably anyway, and it's probably the right it's probably the right decision.
So
But
maybe
there are factors involved, and like I said, it's just like small things do make a difference.
So Brett Huxtable was the referee who's got a notorious reputation with.
Yeah, was it Grimsby at home? What was the game he did last year, and everyone went absolutely ballistic about it?
He's done quite a lot of bad games, hasn't he? And of course, he's Devon-based.
Yeah.
Subtext, not from Exeter.
Yeah.
Subtext, not worthy of the name Devon. But
Subtext hates the city.
yeah, that's right. So in a way, given that we didn't play well, and we probably would have lost whoever the referee was, maybe in a sense we've had two bad things happen at once, which still only results in one lost game.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so next week, if we've got to play Crewe and we should win the game, and he's not the referee, and so we do win the game because the refereeing decisions are correct.
Yeah, because all the other refs in League Two are brilliant.
I always like it when either some Premier League ref has been shamed, really bad decision, and then we'll go mad about it. And then it's always the Monday morning news, isn't it? That, like Michael Oliver's got to go to League Two. And you think, what must that be like? Because everyone knows you've been demoted.
Yeah.
And then you've got to turn out at, somewhere absolutely awful, the People's Pension Stadium or whatever. That is an absolute kick in the teeth, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
So, there we are. Anyway, that's not Brett Huxtable. He's not a good referee. Whatever. We lost the game. We'll move on.
Yes. Couple of side notes on that game that I feel are worth mentioning. One is that Matt Taylor and the opposing manager were wearing identical clothes.
Were they?
Yeah.
Do you think they'd planned in advance?
It looked like they looked like they had.
Okay.
They were both wearing. It's Matt Taylor's classic look, really. It's just the black kind of pullover, white shirt underneath, and smart trousers, and then their manager, who I forget the name of, something Jolly or what's his name?
Oh, I don't know.
His name?
So you were
Michael Jolly.
Oh, he's similar kind of age, isn't he?
Exactly the same clothes. It looks like a kind of, I don't know, FIFA or something where there's only a certain amount of options for managers sort of look, and you just go, two, the same one. So that was something. And also, I think it was something to do with the Grecian Society giving out free tickets for everyone who signed up.
Oh, yeah. So this is the University Society.
Yes, which is, great. That's a great thing.
Good scheme.
Good scheme if, people can, the more people we want, obviously we want most people there we can. Yeah. Students, whatever. But a big old group of them came and were stood next to me.
Okay. Lucky you.
Yeah. Well, fine. You've got to you stand next to whoever.
Yeah, it's an egalitarian kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
football,
you can't choose. And but they're all fine, apart from one who clearly didn't know what he was at because he was asked what league it was.
Okay,
his friends to begin with.
Good,
fine, fair enough. Then about 10 kept going on about rugby all the time as well. Oh, in rugby this, in rugby that. I was like, mate, shut up. Then he suddenly, about 10 minutes in, realised that there was dugouts and was kind of really shocked. Like, oh my God, they've got actual dugouts and everything where the manager's going. It's like, what do you think this is?
What did he think it was?
I don't know.
Literally like town Sunday morning.
Yeah, but even they have dugouts, don't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, they at half time they either moved or left. So
did you scowl too much? Do you think you?
I was really trying not to, but there was certain points where I was sort of just shaking my head, and I was like, maybe,
love it.
Maybe they might see that.
I think it's right. I think part of your learning curve as a student is don't turn up at a football ground and be surprised.
But and if you don't know anything about it, then you've got these queries. Maybe just ask your mate a bit quietly, rather than just blaring it out for everyone to hear.
Indeed.
Anyway.
My friend's mum and dad, before they were married, the mum was wondering where she should go to university, and the dad persuaded her to go to Manchester so he'd have somewhere to stay so he could go and watch the best football in the 60s and 70s.
Brilliant.
So, this guy's obviously not done that.
Quick thinking. No, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was my little side notes.
So it's time to play the So Solid Crewe.
Oh, they are so solid.
Crewe.
They are quite solid, aren't they? They're right up there. Are they
They are
second?
second in the league.
Top of the table clash.
Yeah. Who is Crewe Alexander, and why has he got a football team named after him?
Crewe Alexandra, and she is the Queen of Crewe, I think.
Imagine if your name was... imagine if you started a gang called the Alexandra Crew. You know, it's kind of posh, like private school girls, but like a rough crew.
Yeah, or you could just, if you were just like a kind of like Crewe Alexandra firm, you could just call yourself that. Alexandra Crewe.
Alexandra Crew. Yeah, if you're like gang of like labourers. So yeah, with the Alexandra Crew.
Yeah, or just, football hooligans.
Oh,
It works, doesn't it,
yeah. I don't think they got any hoolies
Have they not?
at Crewe.
I don't know. I remember that this time, last time we played him last season, I was, I really thought Crewe was like up in near Liverpool. Thought it was part of that, but apparently it's not, is it?
It's kind of Stoke.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that you would definitely do if you were the merchandising man at Crewe. You'd have like different, items of clothing. So you have like shoe Alexandra.
Yeah.
That's it.
Crew neck sweater.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah.
Everything would be like, come and get our the exciting new Alexandra items from our shop,
Yeah.
and so on.
Well, Crewe, if you're interested in those ideas, get in touch.
Who's their favourite, 80s new wave band? Crewe 2?
Crewe Order.
Oh, good. And so on.
Yeah.
We've got many more that we'll save, after the game.
So we're playing them.
We're playing them. So they're literally one goal behind us. Their record's not as good as ours. They've won one more. So City currently have 1-6, drawn 4, lost 1.
Yeah.
Crewe have 1-7, drawn 1, lost 3.
Right.
But same points.
One
the
less
mathematicians
goal.
amongst you will know that's the same points. Don't
Yes.
forget, it's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points if you lose.
Yeah, none at all if you lose.
None at all.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. Not like in rugby. I don't even know what that stupid
I
rugby...
think you get like 5 if you lose and like 7 if you win
you
or
get
something.
a try bonus. You shouldn't get a bonus for trying, mate. You should be trying anyway.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Right there. Dear me. Rugby World Cup, no thanks.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't fall for it, listeners, okay? The Rugby World Cup is just an excuse to make you forget about football. Don't let them do it. It's what Boris Johnson wants.
It is.
Don't buy into it. Anyway, Crewe are a real football team from a real football town. They've been going forever, as you know, and used to be kind of famous for their youth stuff, and now it kind of all went really horrible with that, but they got a really good young team. Yeah, I mean, they were kind of there or thereabouts at certain points last year and kind of dropped off at the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they've kind of had a really good start to the season, just like us. So running backwards in order. So on Saturday they drew 1-1 to Cheltenham. Week before they beat Salford City 4-1, which we were all delighted about. The week before that they beat Leyton Orient 2-1. Then they lost to Cambridge 3-2, and before that they beat Grimsby. That's a bit ominous, 2-0. So if you weren't following, they've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1 in the last 5. So they're a form team, like us. I mean, obviously you got to be second in the league.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, isn't it? Especially if we've got to kind of like come back off that first defeat and like pick ourselves up and like try and get something.
You're the kind of danger men. They got this fella Porter up front. He's the same age as me, or just a bit younger than me, 35. He's managed to get 4 this year.
Okay.
I'm assuming he hit them with his Zimmer frame or something. And then Lowry, their midfielder, who's kind of sought after, I'm told, he's had 4 from midfield.
Okay.
So
they've not got like, it's not like, that's worse in a way. They've not got one,
no, it's not
danger man.
No, you can't just nobble the danger man.
Yeah.
So
I think that's part of the problem with us actually. Is like, I know we've got more than one danger man, but they really had Bowman's number, I think, on Saturday just gone, and they
12.
were like, huh?
his number's 12.
Hey.
Thank you.
No, it's not. It's 11.
No, it's 12.
Who's number 11 then?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, and they was kind of put every time he went for a ball, there was like 2 defenders up with him. So
Yeah. So yeah, same problem. I guess he's so obvious with his massive head, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's basically got his own, like, you know, like in FIFA, you get a circle around you if you're the player that you're controlling.
Right.
Bowman's basically got that, hasn't he? It's his own head.
yeah,
So-
I kind of dispute this enormous head thing. Just full stop.
Well, we got facts on it. His wife says so.
I know this chant has been co-opted from a song about Harry Maguire.
Yeah. Who has got a big head? Old slab head.
Yeah, he's got a big head.
Yeah.
And Bowman's, I think, it's just like a normal size head.
It's a
isn't it?
long head. It's a different kind
It's
of
like
big.
slightly long, yeah.
It's slightly long.
It's not like ridiculous.
It's
It's pretty much just. No one was going on like his head last year.
He could queue up at the Grand National and people think, yeah, fair enough.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big.
We're going to need some measurements on this. So if anyone's able to... What we need are photos with Ryan Bowman where you're holding an item that we know the size of.
Yeah, like a Subway sandwich.
A Subway sandwich would be perfect. I reckon his head is longer than a foot-long Subway
That's
sandwich.
mental.
That's not. Definitely is.
No chance.
I think it is. If you can get that photo, listeners, we'd love to see it. Whatever kind of bread, we don't mind what kind of bread. My preference is hearty Italian. But, you know, anything, any kind of Subway sandwich. We're going to need it slightly in the wrapper so we know it is a Subway sandwich. Somewhere near his head.
Yeah, but it can't be like. It's got to be kind of the same distance from the camera,
Yeah, it can't be close to the camera. So that...
making his head look bigger.
Or smaller, whichever way round you do. I'm no good at perspective.
Anyway, I don't think it's that big. That's my
Interesting.
position on that.
What's that? What is that chant? Someone about likes vodka and likes a Jaeger.
Ryan Bowman, he drinks a vodka, he drinks a Jaeger.
Yeah.
You know
and
the rest.
He's got a big head. Interesting. So that's
But yeah,
Bowman.
also, what's the thing about? I don't know. Like, I think probably what's the bit about him liking a vodka and a Jaeger? Well, how do they know?
Is that the same words as Harry Maguire's song?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Harry Maguire plays for some other team. I never heard of him up north somewhere.
I'm not slagging you off, by the way. People who come up with songs, they're very creative. I'm just saying, you didn't come up with this one, and does it really apply?
I'm really interested in how football songs, because, you know, most of them are borrowed from somewhere else, aren't they? Like, we have some other people have some, all shares around. But they're completely different in tone, like in speed, and it's weird, isn't it? Like, so that LA one, you know, the Liverpool one from last year.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it came from, France, I think. When City sing it, or when someone else sings it, it sings totally different. Weird, isn't it?
Regional
Regional dialect. Lay.
Yeah.
Bowman's long head. Anyway, let's go back to Crewe. We don't know the size of their heads. Of course, their kind of best known player isn't known because of himself, but because of his dad, Jaskalainen in goal.
No way.
Yeah, the young Jaskalainen.
Ha, didn't know that.
I've forgotten his name. Begins with a J, his first name. Son of the
Same as his
Bolton
dad.
keeper. Yeah, Finnish.
You see.
Yussi was his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he called? Anyway, that's who they got in goal.
Probably Jaden.
No, it's definitely a Finnish name.
Oh, okay.
How do you know when you finished with a name?
I don't know.
I don't know. You just change it for someone else, don't you? Anyway, that's who they've got in their ranks, and he started most of the game. He's only about 19, and I think the goalkeeping coach at Crewe is his dad's old goalkeeping coach from Bolton. There's some weird connection.
Right.
Obviously, Bolton can hardly afford their own goalkeeper, let alone a coach. So
Yeah.
I guess they've all moved over. So that's Crewe. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I felt like Grimsby was a bit of a test. I didn't expect it to be that much of a test, to be honest.
Well, so what changed? That sounds like from what Matt Taylor's saying that he's going to change things up a bit then, doesn't it? So what
Does.
do you think's going to happen there, or what would you like to happen?
Well, if Williams was the one who looked a bit out of sorts, I think it's really good that we've got Richardson, because Williams does seem like he's either all firing on all cylinders or goes a bit missing.
Yeah. Richardson looked good, actually, I think,
Okay.
when he came on.
Okay.
He's quite robust,
That's good.
which you can't really say about Randall Williams.
No, you
but-
can't.
And as much as criticism Williams did get, actually, he still had some moments like where he was. But I just kind of think his corners weren't really up to it.
I mean, I haven't
he
seen-
lost the ball quite a lot.
Okay.
But then watch the highlights. There is some, if you haven't seen it, and there is some times when he, a lovely bit of skill. He completely took it past this defender and then just got completely wiped out when it was a free kick, and we didn't manage to do anything with the free kick. But he had made it past the guy, and like he was in a dangerous position. But yeah, I just think the deliveries and stuff as well.
I mean,
But who would you have in?
Well, here's a controversial thought. I wonder if Fisher's worth a start. Straight for Bowman.
In for Bowman?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe. Just give him a bit of a rest.
Give him a bit of rest, and it's twofold, isn't it? He might feel like he's got to do everything, so it takes a bit of the pressure off.
Yeah.
And also, it might remind him, your place isn't... I mean, I think he works really hard, so I don't think this is necessarily what he needs, but it's also like, well, there are other people in the team. We've got someone we're paying a wage to.
Yeah.
Fisher's only had 10 minutes here and there, hasn't he? 20
Again, came on, hit the bar, actually. Did he hit the bar? Or was it, he was forced a really good save from the keeper with a header?
If you got Bowman coming on after an hour, that's quite interesting as well.
He kind of hit the bar. He hit the bar of the big bank. And by that, I mean, like almost the crossbar bit of the roof.
Oh.
With the shot.
Oh.
Which was, quite bad, but...
That's quite high.
Very high.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. But also, I mean, like...
What would you do?
Well, I don't know. That's an interesting point. Like I said, like they might be thinking, okay, well, Bowman's playing, we know what to do with him. So if he's not in there,
yeah.
I know Alex Fisher's a very similar kind of player, so the plan would be pretty easily transferable. But yeah,
I wonder if the what did you call it? Stupidtrophy.com.
Yeah.
If we do see Atangana and he's a revelation, maybe we'd see him.
Maybe, although he's not even been fit enough to be on the bench, was he, for Saturday? And that's so.
Maybe I'm being ambitious.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do.
And then, of course, we got the choice at the back, haven't we? Like, again, in a sense, we've got a few players who essentially aren't under threat ever.
Yeah.
Or that's certainly the way it feels. And obviously, we've been 10 games unbeaten, so why would there be any threat to them anyway? But Moxie, Law, Collins, Taylor, Bowman,
Sweeney,
and Sweeney. Look, we haven't really.
Yeah.
Ever, so maybe just a bit of a mix around there.
Yeah. Aaron Martin, must be.
I think so.
I know a lot of people want him, really rate him and want him in. I'm not. I think he's a good player. I've not completely made my mind up on who I prefer out of. If it is between him and Parks, I'm not sure who I prefer out of those two.
I suppose it's
Parks
Sweeney.
The man of the match Saturday, just gone, and I'm not really. I know when we lose that badly, you just got to give it to whoever, really, don't you? But like,
I wonder if Sweeney needs to, like we said.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Apart from, and he didn't do too much wrong in this game, just gone.
Okay.
He certainly wasn't at fault, and he's been actually really good, I think, recently. Sweeney, like, combining down that right hand side, putting some good balls in. Like I said, he did hit the bar on Saturday as well with that kind of cross.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely a cross, not even a shot. But don't know.
Well,
but,
fair dues.
It's only one game, isn't it? Perhaps.
I think you're right. I think
perhaps
from what
Matt
you were
Jay
saying,
could come in for Lee Martin, although like. I feel like Lee Martin earned his place in that starting lineup and hasn't really done enough to lose it off the basis of losing one game, but I don't know.
Fisher might be my thought. That's kind of my only thing I'm minded to think, really.
Right.
That's just to kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons a bit. And also, I think Bowman coming on after an hour with his kind of work rate and his kind of positional sense could be a pain in the neck for Crewe.
Yeah,
and they are a young team.
Tiring defenders, perhaps. Yeah.
The
other thing is like possibly you can see is maybe the experience of Woodman coming back in for Sparks, but maybe after again, I don't want to single out Jack Sparks for any treatment because he wasn't a big problem. I wouldn't have said he wasn't like at fault for specifically for anything, but that's possible, isn't it?
It is. And
if Taylor just decides, I want just a bit more kind of like a bit more kind of wiser, wilier kind of character in the side.
Yeah. Crewe's one of those games, isn't it, where sometimes we've just had to eke out a result and maybe it'll be the same again. It's an away game against an informed side. Yeah. So we're not going to go there and win 3-0, are we? So
no, and you'd think we'll sort of try and be keeping it tight and play it kind of as safe as we can. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, in a week's time, we'll have a better idea about how the whole season's going to go. If you can recover from a loss like that, which, like we said, the score makes it sound worse than it probably was. But
absolutely,
it still knocks you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it was at home, and we should have won that game. Really, it's not like Grimsby are
No.
fantastic side. They did play well, but you know they're not the best we'll come up against.
Indeed. Well, I guess Saturday will tell us more about what we need to know. Dan, have you been keeping abreast of... they're calling him this millennium's Charles Dickens, but you and I know him as Julian Tagg. Have you been reading his column?
I did read that one the other day. I sort of taken Jake Taylor's...
No, I think Taggy always gets the odd one or two, doesn't he?
Right, okay.
By the way, his son, I let him out on Alphington Road the other day. He's got the biggest Bentley I've ever seen.
Really?
Flipping, yeah. Flipping massive. Anyway, that's by the by. Personalised number plate, isn't it? But Taggy's column seemed to mainly focus on... he's trying to have a bit of a jokey dig at Taylor and the kit lady, because Taylor doesn't like a strong curry.
Right.
I think this fits with your theory about Matt Taylor. No nonsense. Why would I eat spicy food when I can eat non-spicy food?
Okay, yeah, that does sort of seem to fit, doesn't it? Just like, no, that one's just... I don't need my food to be the challenge, thanks. I'll just have that.
I'll have that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Please don't bring it out in separate dishes in the Indian. I just want it on one plate.
Yeah.
And I'll have a spoon.
Don't want any faff.
A spoon, please.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? It's like that column seemed to be referring to all these to photographs that weren't there.
I know.
And, as if we were supposed to know what he was talking about. But
Denise is it Denise the kit lady? Someone's large glass of G&T or something. You're can't see. Don't know what you're talking about, Taggy.
Oh, I just used my imagination then. Picture her. Also, but people just put G&Ts in these big glasses. It's hardly mind-blowing stuff, is it? Then again, this is a man who has his mind seems to be blown by electronic advertising board.
Yeah.
Only joking. We all appreciate the work you do, Jew. Julian.
Don't call him Jew, he doesn't like it.
Does he not?
I don't know. Does like being called Taggy. Here's the thing. You know those Sports Direct mugs that are massive?
Yeah.
They're good, aren't they?
No.
Don't you like them?
Not for me.
Massive cup.
I don't want that much
Beverage.
of a cup of tea in one go.
No, it doesn't have to be tea. Problem with tea is, cools down, you don't get to the bottom. But imagine filling it with lilt.
Oh, no chance.
Oh,
I'm
that's so good.
I'm not drinking
You don't have a mug of lilt?
a cold drink out of a kind of porcelain
Really?
vessel. No, we ain't got to go in a glass.
Well, I haven't got to.
Well, no, I mean, you can do anything. You can drink it out of a shoe if you want, but
Shoe Alexandra.
yeah, which you can also buy from Sports Direct at a very reasonable price. Nah, I'm not a fan.
You don't
It's
like
too
a cold
big.
drink out of a mug?
No.
Really?
Never. Put it in a tall glass, please.
A tall glass?
Yeah, or I don't know.
My wife, Beth, had just started buying broad glasses. How do you feel about that?
What are they?
It was a bit like a gravy boat, but a glass. It's not quite that big. It's quite good.
Gravy boat.
It looks like a small...
long, thin...
Yeah, it's like this big, but this high.
Like a bowl.
It's almost a bowl, but with it curves in at the top. Oh, it's delicious. And you think, oh, this is only a small glass. I'm not going to have much lilt here. And then you start drinking, it's like the never-ending pot.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
That's good. Honestly, the times we've had with those glasses, you wouldn't believe it. So you don't like a Sports Direct mug? I'd like to see an Exeter City large mug.
I don't see the point
And
of
I'm
a
not
large
talking about
mug.
Ryan Bowman, hey.
I don't see the point of a large mug at all.
Really?
No.
Well, I tell you the
Like
main
said,
point.
you can't have a cup
more
of tea out of
stuff.
it because it's going to go cold before you get to the end.
That's true.
So what is it for?
Other drinks.
You're not drinking a beer out of it. You're drinking a beer out of a mug.
Someone is, not me, but someone.
Ugh, no chance.
All right. What about a cup of milk?
No. And if you are drinking a cup of milk, I don't suggest having that much in one go.
Oh, yeah, I have a lovely cup of milk.
Yeah, just a glass of milk.
No, I'd never have milk in a glass.
That's the thing. It's called a glass of milk.
Well, by some people.
It's not. I've never heard of a cup of milk.
Come around my house, have a cup of milk.
Cup of soup.
Cup of soup, sometimes. I'd rather have a bowl of
A
soup.
glass of milk and two.
Look, I tell you, it was called the milk
cookies on
cup
the
for a
side.
reason. Sponsored by Cups of Milk.
It wasn't called the milk mug.
No, not enough clubs talk about trying to win a few mugs, do they? We want to get some mugs in the mug cabinet.
No, I think there's probably various reasons for that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, no.
No, all right.
What would you have? Is that would be your number one choice for new merchandise from the Exeter City Club shop?
I tell you what I'd love. I used to have when I was a kid, and I think someone made this for me. It was a football lampshade.
Right. But
So-
it's like the shape of a football.
No, actually, like a normal lampshade shape,
Right.
but with like footballers on it.
Oh, okay.
Now, my mum, she wasn't that up to date with footballers, so Bobby Charlton was on it.
Right. This is in about 1994,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, it was a bit earlier, 92, and also Chris Vinicum was on it, who hadn't played for City for some time before. So I think
Wow.
maybe he was in a Rangers shirt. Is that where he went? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway, so
So you'd like that lampshade?
I'd like a
with
lampshade
all the new lads on there.
with a few new lads, and obviously as you turn your light on, you'd illuminate their faces.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What about you? What would you choose?
Well, the first time I ever went to an Exeter City game, long time ago,
Yeah.
Alan Ball was the manager,
Of course he was.
which, that feels like, well, it was a long time ago.
It feels like an absolute lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that, I'm pretty sure it was at the first game I ever went to. I got this. My dad, I guess, bought from the club shop, which used to be across the road, didn't it?
The other
on
side,
St James's Road.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Just on the other side of the road there. Me and my brother.
It's called The Last Post.
Yes. These flat caps. And it's like a white flat cap with like red sort of at the sides.
Yeah.
And then it just said on the top, like the top of the hat.
Yeah.
Like it just said Alan Ball. Because
Because he used to wear a flat cap.
Just in red writing. Yeah, I guess that's why, yeah. But it didn't say like Exeter City or the badge or anything like that. Just like capital letters on the top of the hat, Alan Ball.
That's amazing. Do you think that's so he could take it with him when he went to Southampton? Like that was Alan Ball merchandise, not Exeter City merchandise.
Well, yeah, maybe. But
Alan, we've had two offers of new clubs you could go and manage. It could be Everton or it could be Southampton. He's like, well, I've got all these red and
got a
white.
job lot of these red and white.
So I'll
flat
do
caps.
Southampton. Maybe that's what happened. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that, but with just saying block capitals, Matt Taylor.
I tell you what, this tells us how much the world has
Or
changed.
Julian Tagg.
When was Alan Ball? Was he 93, when he 94, that kind of time?
Yes.
And Alan Ball, of course, probably wasn't very old then. He was young in 66, wasn't he? So he probably born in about the late 40s. So he was probably under 50
Yeah.
when he was at Exeter City. And yet, to think about him now, he seemed like an absolute old man.
Yeah.
So he was like the same age then as
Matt Taylor.
basically...
Yeah, probably a bit older.
But maybe 5 years older than Matt Taylor is now. But yet he seemed then, and not just because we were kids, he seemed like a really old man. Wax jacket and flat cap.
Yeah, well, people just used to look older in those days,
suppose
didn't
they
they?
did.
You know?
But he was always known for being like the young one for the World Cup, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Bizarre. So a Matt Taylor flat cap,
Yeah.
a large mug, a lampshade. Anything else? Oh, there's loads in there. You could do so much.
Exeter City branded paracetamol.
Okay. Well, good luck with that, Taggy. Let us know how
Just
it
a few
goes.
suggestions for you. And if we see him in there and no one's contacted us in the interim, then you'll be hearing from my solicitor.
Okay, well, let us know how it goes.
My big Bentley.
He could start sponsoring like cabs, couldn't he, around town? You get a taxi.
Eee.
Thank you. Listeners, it's been good to talk to you. It feels like this has been more nonsense than ever. I hope you're enjoying it.
Nah, that was fairly city heavy, I think.
City heavy with a bit of nonsense tagged on. Hey.
Eee.
Thanks for listening. This has been the Big Bank Theory podcast. Remember, you can get in touch with us on email, bigbankpod@gmail.com, on Twitter @BigBankPod, and on Facebook, the Big Bank Theory podcast. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Yep, and if you have been with us since the beginning, thanks for tagging along. Cheers.
Hey.
Cheers.
Oh. Bye.